Okay, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us for another interesting episode. We're back again this week after missing out last week. As usual, we have the usual suspects joining us again for another episode of for the football fans and where we dissect all the latest football action, mostly from the Premier League and some other tournaments. Right. So I have with me as usual today. I have Chooks joining us. Chooks, how are you doing?
Oh man, I'm I'm ecstatic.
Of course you are. Of course you are. After that, amazing, convincing performance from Arsenal. In fact, in the past two game weeks, as in Arsenal has been on point. Okay,
Past
good.
three,
We'll
past
come
three.
to
Don't forget the third
yeah.
one.
Oh my goodness, part three. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. All right. We'll talk about that later. Uzo, how you doing?
I've seen better days. Not very many better days, but I've seen better days.
Better days.
But I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. You're here. Yeah. Spurs will be fine. No worries. No worries. You guys will be back. The Adams, how you doing?
Man, bro, what a week, man. What a week. I'm sure you guys feel better than I do. After the favor that I did you guys, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
So why
As
why
we
is
up with
why why
fly.
why are you saying things over there?
Uh-uh. Is it your
I can
thanks? Is it your
can nobody
thanks?
use
Leave
this
me
paper now?
But
Zero
still,
zero
last,
trophies.
last I checked, we're still on top of the Premier League, right?
I
So
don't know.
please,
No people call
please.
police first, they win case. So.
Uh, Speaking from experience, right? Last season,
And exactly.
thanks. I understand. I understand. Okay, guys. All right. So yeah. So our agenda for today's show would be the just concluded African Cup of Nations. We're not on last week, so we're not able to give our post review of the tournament, the final game, Cote d'Ivoire versus Nigeria, and then we'll then venture on to talk about the Premier League. The full complement of fixtures happened this weekend as well, so we're going to be dissecting and talking about all the fixtures that happened. So, but first of all, we're going to quickly touch on and dissect the just completed African Cup of Nations. It's exactly 1 week since the tournament ended, and as Nigerians, we all know how it ended. It ended on a sad note for us after so much expectation. We lost the final to the host nation, 2 goals to 1. But in terms of the overall organization and the occasion of the Nations Cup, I thought this was the best Nations Cup we've ever had. I think most people can agree. It was amazing from the organization. The pitches were top notch. The officiating was almost perfect. I'll give it like a 95% rating. The What's it called now? The goals were amazing in terms of what you expect in tournaments, the shocks, the surprises. It had it all. Kudos to teams like Mauritania, Namibia, Cape Verde making it to the round of 16. It was an amazing experience, for Africans. A lot of coming out of the tournament, there was a lot of proud Africans. Wow, we finally had the Nations Cup that the whole world has taken notice of, and we can only hope and expect that the subsequent Nations Cup will kind of like live up to the billing. All right, so just quickly, right, so we're all Nigerians here. Let me give my own honest assessment before I bring you guys in. Of course, it was disappointing last week. So much expectation. Even though I had that feeling that we might not be able to cross over the line. I think I mentioned it in the show we had prior to the final. I didn't just want us to face the host nation in the final. I just from my own point of view, I just felt like the hosts were just riding on some sort of like wave, a fairy tale, the way they qualified from the group stage through the round of 16, the way they got over the line against Mali, defeated the defending champions Senegal. It just looked like it was written in the stars for them. But well, that is not excusing how Nigeria performed, in the final. I felt the team, the coach just got it wrong, personnel wise. I don't know what Chukwueze is offering. As in, Chukwueze has not been himself for almost 2 years now since I've been watching Super Eagles games from World Cup qualifiers down to this Afcon. He's not been himself. Starting that final when Simon Moses had been performing, at the better. I think that was where the coach got it wrong. That was his first for me. That's my for me. That was his first mistake. Chukwueze, and for the whole 55 minutes he was on the pitch, he offered nothing. He couldn't hold up the ball. It was just so poor. And then our style of play, I don't know. This is not pleasing on the eye. I for one, I'm someone that I always like my team to play attacking, high pressing football, But this Nigerian team right now is not offering that. So it was a painful watch in that aspect. Yeah, in terms of personnel, I thought with Nigeria we had enough to win that game. Not forgetting that this was the same. Well, in terms of just we had defeated the Ivory Coast in the group stage. In terms of personnel, fine, you could say it was not the same team we met in the group stage, but we had that psychological edge that we're beating them, so we're coming into the final confident. I felt that also played to our disadvantage because I was looking at the team. When I saw the lineup, I was like, the coach just went with, this was the team that we used to defeat them in the group stage. Let me just go with that same team, and then we'll get the same result. But I just felt Nigeria did not, we didn't study Cote d'Ivoire throughout the tournament, right from their progression to the round of 16. They changed their manager. The new manager had got them playing in a different style of play. I just felt like Nigeria did not do its homework, in trying to assess your opposition strength, and then we just went in there like, oh yeah, we'll get it done. And then during the game, the coach didn't respond. You could see I was watching. I don't know because I'm in the UK. I was watching the game on Sky Sports, and then the commentator was saying even during the first half, before the Cote d'Ivoire scored their goals, he was saying Aino was looking tired. And there was a time Aino was looking at the bench. You could see him looking at the bench. Like it was almost as if he was signaling to the bench that he's like, I'm gassed out. I'm tired, And there was no reaction. And you could see Adingra. And you could just see that the Ivory Coast were just going through that wing. Almost all the attacks was coming through that wing. There was no reaction. The coach was just, I don't know whether we were just like anyhow, we just hold on, hang on, and then it was just poor game management from the coach. But well, we can only improve, we can only move on from that. Well, World Cup qualifiers coming up. We can only hope for the best. Okay, guys, I've spoken enough. Let me hear what you guys have to say. Let me start with you, Chooks. I don't know if you saw the final. What was the assessment, and what do you think about the coach? Should we keep this coach?
Firstly, no, I won't start with the coach. Firstly, Olaina, I hope God will never sag your destiny ever in this lifetime because what I saw from Olaina is beyond disgraceful. It was so horrible. I had to take back all the praise I gave him. In Indira was licking his lips every time he had that 1v1 with Aina. He was beating him every time. And I'm
But
like, is this the same guy that
don't
we
you think?
were?
Sorry to cut in. Don't you think he was fatigued? He was tired.
I mean, Ivory Coast too. Are they not tired? Like everybody's in the final. This is the last game to win what was probably going to be the one of the few only positive things as a Nigerian that you can be like, okay, like especially after you go over South Africa and you go there, you say, okay, the manager is defensive, and I didn't see what was defensive about us, even when we snuck and went 1-0 up. I'm thinking was going to lift, the team's like, okay, 45 minutes, if we're going to lock it up, let's do it properly. But then you see everyone is like they are switching off, like Kessie's goal. Like how from the goalkeeper to I don't know who was even the man that even lost track of himself. Because even the keeper should be doing a little bit better there, but I
Yeah,
can't I can't even blame him because he's been very good this tournament. But you see, Aina, he was so horrible. Victor Osimhen, you cannot be 120 million. If whoever goes to buy him from Napoli for that amount of money, I'm very sorry. He just doesn't have what we call dog. There's no dog in him. Either he's flailing, falling, looking for contact, like all those things. I feel like affects the whole team because nobody on our team looked like they were ever going to make that difference. People were flogging Iwobi. I feel rightfully so. Yeah, maybe the setup didn't enable him to play the way he wants to play, but I'm always upset when I see people 5 yard passes, you're passing it to another opponent, you're not running. Like we're not chasing after them, we're not making those quick passes. And everybody is so quick to put their head down. Then why did you get to the final? And this was the reason why I didn't want Nigeria to buy me in. But I bought in because it looked too good to be true. But this has
Yeah.
always been consistent with Nigeria. Even last year or
Like
2 years
like
ago.
Uzo's famous words from one of the previous episodes. They will let you down when it
Yeah,
almost
like
matters.
they will find a new way to do it. This one was just more disappointing because all the players that we all praised, they were just like it was new people were watching. Because I feel like as someone that has watched my team lose, all my sports teams, I watched them lose so many times. I feel like there's an acceptable way to lose a game.
Yeah,
If you lose a game and in the eyes of everybody, they were like, yeah, you guys tried your best, but you just came up against a team that were just too much.
yeah.
We just allowed Ivory Coast to attack,
To-
attack, 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 attack. And they were not
I
even,
think
they didn't even look like they would have even scored, if not
yeah,
for
those lapses
corner
in
that
preparation.
somebody
Yeah,
lost track of man and this guy Hales lucky flick. But
flick
yeah, I was very disappointed. It took me a few hours to get over it because I had to watch another final. But it was so disappointing because in my mind I'm like, why are you coming this far to play with that, like to play the way they played? And what is even more shameful is guys like Osimhen and he will be ducking the media. You people
yeah,
are shameless. You went to that final and played that kind of nonsense,
and then you're
and you're
now
going to hide and not, and you don't want to talk to the media as though the whole nation was not watching, rooting for these same guys, and you go and drop that kind of performance. I think that they're going to give you warm embrace.
exactly.
Yeah, I know it was a very horrible game to watch. The coach,
Ex-
I can't really even blame the coach. I know people are flogging the coach, but it's the same. It's the same way he set up that got us here. I feel like the blame should be more on the players and the coach because if you've done something that has worked from group stage to the final, why are you changing it? It's not like we're creating a plethora of chances or we're looking like City where we're just chance after chance. We're arguably the best defensive team and we set up defensive again and we got a goal. And I'm thinking, okay, we don't concede. Or we haven't considered except it was penalty. Nigeria and Afcon just didn't look like a team that you could score certain goals on. And it took us the final to lose in that manner. It was so difficult. Yeah,
it
that's
was
the last time they gave me. 2026 will be when the stripes. Which is even, do you even know what is even sad is me and Uzo actually just bought Nigerian jersey with our names on the back.
wow to
We're ready
party.
to plant here with
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! As in, just like you mentioned, like this disappointment of coming this far only to play that kind of in that manner in the final. So many
like
Nigerians was it
you've
was
been
just
playing
like there was no we didn't land it like it was a boxing match. Apart from the goal, we didn't really like Ivory Coast
we
won't feel like
didn't we
this.
didn't
We didn't
land.
land any significant punch, and then we made them look very good, But well, let me hear Uzo's thoughts. Uzo, what are your thoughts on the Afcon final?
Yeah, it's funny that happened so long ago, and there have been fresh disappointments in my own life. So I haven't,
Sports
I
fan and the
don't,
Nigerian fan.
I don't have the
Wow.
same, I don't have the same level of like anger or vitriol towards. Honestly, I wasn't mad. Like I showed up in every group chat. I took my licks, and honestly, all of the Nigerians out there that were like trying to like push back on banter, like come on, the way the way the gods of banter had been favorable to us throughout the tournament, you
Alright. You
just
knew.
just stand in there and take it. Just take it. It's
Yeah.
okay. And honestly, like the one thing that I will touch on though, like that you said, like about them ducking the media, like I don't know. There's a fine line between like this new age of us being aware of players and their mental health and like not piling on in the bad moments, but there's also the other side of it in the fact that you're playing a publicly criticized sport, and is the reason why you make as much as you make is because it comes with a lot of public accolades and scrutiny. And I don't know. I think I always get very like turned off by players that are like very, I don't want to use the word soft because like we should be moving past that. We should be moving past denigrating people for taking care of their health. But I don't like when players are. I think the word I'll use is two faced because it will be especially right. Like you've done this thing with Snapchat. You're always bringing us into the kind of behind the scenes of the dressing room. We laugh with you. We smile with you. We praise you. You're in tune with that. To see the way his reaction and all of his teammates as well, their reaction to criticism, I wasn't really excited about. And the thing is, like, if it was a thing where it's like racism, right? Like how like black players have to deal with that, I can understand like you draw the line there. But him being heavily criticized by the masses, what's wrong with that? If he was being heavily praised, would guys be like, "Hey guys, lay off of Iwobi now. The whole team did
Praise is too
well."
much.
You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. Is like if you're going to lean into the praise, you're going to lean into people like all the different senior mandes with Iheanacho were in the watching your snap when you're doing praise and worship in the dressing room and dancing. We supported you through all of that. I think it's only fair that you should be criticized in the same manner. So like I don't like seeing that. And like yeah, those clips of them ducking the media and Osimhen saying "Mel not free me," like free what? You have an obligation to us. Like we're the ones tuning in on a worldwide scale. If we weren't tuning in, these tournaments would not be as prestigious. As much as the Ivory Coast did a wonderful job, and I'm glad that you highlighted that. I think it was a great tournament from start to finish. And honestly, if you're a neutral and you weren't rooting for anybody, like wow, that's probably a 10 out of 10. Of course, the ending will piss off all the Nigerian supporters, but as far as like the tournament, the organization, VAR, everything, fantastic. And yeah, our performance was absolutely terrible. I think the coach there should be questions asked about the coach. I don't think he really fits the ethos of the Nigerian team. Like, if ever, like, we all know our clubs have our own play styles, right? And so when a coach comes in whose ideology doesn't like align with your club's philosophy, it's very easy to spot. Nigeria is not a defensive team. We never have been. If we're to name all of our legends, maybe three are defenders. Maybe Yobo, Taribo West, and maybe Stephen Keshi. I mean, like there's very few legends we have that are defenders.
Yeah.
One of our most iconic captains.
Yeah.
But besides that, maybe Babayaro, but he was even more attacking kind of fullback. Nigeria is not a team that sits back and hopes for the best. We go at teams. We have great midfielders, great. How many strikers do Nigeria have right now? We can all start naming. We can name an entire starting 11 of strikers alone. Why are you sitting back and playing one striker and two attacking two?
That's coming at the final after we lost.
No, I understand that.
Nobody was saying this when we were. I tuned in. I watched you guys.
But
guys
Adams, you can't.
Hands up,
Adams,
saluting. Ekong.
Adams,
and now
Adams, you can't say nobody was saying that because we all sat up here after every single round and we said like we don't look good. We said like, and I remember like I even explicitly said maybe this is the way to win the tournament, right? Because we looked good last tournament and we crashed out to Tunisia. We were one of the more interesting teams to watch. I would say like we were good in the group stage and we crashed out first round.
Is that better? Should we bring back El Gavon?
I mean, of course not. He wasn't good enough either. But my thing is, Jose style, right? And I even feel sick to my stomach calling him Jose because he needs to relinquish that name. Pizarro style. It wasn't like it was organized defensive unit. I just thought guys like Ekong played out of their skin. Guys like Bassi played out of their skin. I thought Nwabali was obviously like a monster in that goal. And we got away with it for as long as we could. And obviously, if we won the tournament, I'll be sitting here saying, hear ye, hear ye. Nigeria sits atop the African footballing pyramid. But that wasn't the reality. And honestly, we can't sit here and say we deserved it. We can't sit here and say we were the better team. Ivory Coast were rightful winners. And honestly, they've been outplaying everybody since the Senegal game. I remember I was watching Senegal
Yeah,
play, and Senegal are a team that play well, quote unquote. But after they got their goal, they did the same thing we did. They sat back for
yeah,
87 minutes, got pegged back, and there was only one winner in that. Same thing with Mali, where
Mali.
they had Ivory Coast down to 10 men, and they still got dominated. So we were rightfully dominated. That's fine. But I'm looking at the outlook of the Nigerian team going forward. We can't have this guy in place. I don't think he fits our ethos. I think we need to get back to who we are, attacking flair, and we need to get back to dominating the teams that we should dominate. If we
We'll be
lose
back.
to
We'll be
a
back
better
to
team,
that.
that's fine. Well, not under this guy. I don't think so. I don't think there's a future in the way that he plays. Playing two midfielders, allowing them to die, isolating the attackers, that's not who we are. So hopefully before the World Cup qualifiers, we're able to get somebody that fits us better and gets us into a more sustainable pattern of play. Because if we're going to be playing South Africa in the qualifiers,
Yep.
nothing's guaranteed. The way they played us, I think they easily on a different day could have come out on top in that game.
Yeah.
So if not for that guy missing an empty goal, who knows what the conversation would have been by now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited about the team. I never was excited. I obviously I'm a support, but it's not like any of our games were fun to watch. I'll be honest. Can anyone here say any of our games were entertaining and exciting to watch? No, they weren't.
Okay.
Well, you're a Chelsea
I-
fan, so you're used to this defensive. He's used to this. This is his ethos.
Coming from a Spurs fan, bro. We're the most
Attack-minded Spurs fan.
we're
You're
the
right.
most successful team in London, and you talk to me like this. Yeah,
Whoa,
bro.
brother.
We deserve better respect, bro. We deserve better respect.
Brave Chelsea
You put
after
us on
spending
the
$1
map.
billion.
You put London on the
Yeah.
map. 2 Champions League titles.
10 men behind the ball. 10 men behind the ball. Ethos.
Chicks,
Is
Chicks, are you going to say
identity.
anything?
Huh?
Are you going to say anything? Are you not going to counter Adams, the most
I know
successful
me,
team in
me,
London?
I'm invincible right now.
Okay.
I won't
Adams,
speak.
I think so.
Adams,
I didn't watch the final, right? Because I was flying back home, but I had shout out Lola.
Lucky you.
Huh?
Lucky you. You didn't watch it. You were luckier than us.
you didn't
Shout out
enjoy the
Rola. She was
game.
giving me play-by-play description of the game on the way back. And I kept saying Nwabali saves, Nwabali saves, Nwabali saves. I'm like, what's going on?
Wow.
Why is Nwabali making all the saves? So yeah, but I feel like maybe because I didn't watch the final, I can add a little bit more perspective to this. Like I've been seeing a lot of takes from Nigerians, and number one, the funny thing about Nigerians watching football is we support our clubs, and we'll be like, oh, there are Chelsea fans that are Nigerians. Through the worst period of our club existence, we're there every single time. But once it's Nigeria, once things don't go right, I don't even know why I'm watching them anymore. I don't even know why I watch Nigeria. Why am I even supporting them? I don't understand. Is that not what football is about? It's not supposed to be through thick and thin, right? You're supposed to be there with your team. So that's a different discussion for another day. But yeah, going back to the tournament, I feel like to put perspective into this, we're acting like we didn't take a lot out of this tournament. There's a lot more that we can say, oh, I think we did better in this tournament. I'm sorry, I'm not going to judge this tournament off of one game. I get it. Like, I understand that we lost the final and we're supposed to win the final, right? That's disappointing. But before we came into this tournament, we didn't have a goalie. We didn't have a goalkeeper. We didn't even know. We're like, oh, who's going to be our goalkeeper? Is it Uzoho? And we came out of this tournament knowing that we have a potentially really good goalkeeper, right? And that's thanks to who? We can't spin it. It's thanks to the coach, right? If it was somebody else, they probably would have still stuck with Uzoho. That's thanks to the coach for discovery, because I didn't know him.
I agree with
did
you,
you know
Adams.
him? I didn't know Wabali before this. I didn't know him.
Adams, I agree
Right.
with you.
That's thanks to him. And another thing
It's
about
not like we have some scouting network. Why is that thanks to the coach?
okay,
There's
whattever.
only so many options.
No,
it's thanks to Wambali himself for stepping
let's
up.
let's
No,
not
no,
forget
no.
about the
No,
coach.
thanks
Let's
to the
not forget
coach
about
for
the coach.
giving him the opportunity.
Let's even forget about the
Screw the
coach.
coach,
Let's forget
man.
about the coach. I'm not even here to say the coach deserves to keep his job. But I'm just saying there's a lot more. Let's not act like it's all doom and gloom and we lost the final. There's a lot more we can be proud of as a team coming out from this tournament. We have a goalkeeper that we can say, he's close to being solid, he's all right. Like we can throw a
So
hat.
besides the goalkeeper, what else? You said there's a
Listen,
lot.
calm down,
I'm
kid.
just
Listen,
I'm curious.
when we watch Pius, I know I've known you for a while. We've watched the Nigerian national team, different Nigerian national teams together, and there's something we always say they lacked. They lack spirits, right? We just don't see. We don't see like in the past like 3 to 4 years. We just don't see the fights in them. They just act like they don't want to be there. They just come and
Yes.
they just play. But this group, they showed something like we could identify with them. They showed like,
Yeah.
oh, like it means something to us. Like we saw Ekong showing what it means. And
Yeah.
before this, we always criticized like the UK born or UK raised players, and we said, oh, they don't know what it is to play for Nigeria. They are so privileged. I remember watching Lukman in the qualifier against Ghana. I'm like, what's this guy doing here? And we
Yeah.
come out of this tournament knowing we can trust Lukman. Bro, Uzo said something about Lukman. I'm saying, no, I don't think Lukman is that guy in Nigeria. And I leave this tournament saying, this guy is somebody, like, is somebody I think in the future
You
we
can
can
rely
build a
on.
team
Yeah.
around this guy, right? Let's talk about Onyeka. Onyeka did well, right? In the role that he was asked to play, he did
Superb.
well.
Superb.
Semi Ajayi, championship. People were saying, why is a championship defender? What is he doing in the Nations Cup? What is he doing representing Nigeria? Playing for, is it West Brom? West Brom.
Yeah. West Brom in championship.
Bro,
Yeah.
there are a lot more things. I get it. Like, we can criticize the team, but it's not all doom and gloom.
Not
Like, we
gloomy.
can say we took something out of this tournament. We can say some of the boys did well. We can continue with this spirit. Like, we want Nigerians, we want people that play for Nigeria to play this way, to play like it means something. Olaino did very well up until the final. I didn't watch the final. I'll be the first person to say I don't know how he did in the final. But we can take something out of that and say, okay, maybe we can build from that. And then we
I,
can go back to
I, I
the
can I can confirm there was no Cobham product tweets after the final. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
There's
okay,
no
we can say that. We can say that. That's acceptable. But I was just maybe because I didn't watch the final again, so it's easy for me to say let's add perspective. It's not all. And then the Iwobi thing, there's a difference between criticizing somebody and you know how let me say Nigerians, but you know how people can be crossing the line. People comparing him to cancer, saying he should die,
Yeah.
things like that. Yes, it's
Saying
not racism, but equally that's not good enough. Like that's not good enough. Like
saying
and
going to
and
his Instagram
again,
page and saying all that stuff that
again,
you
and
believe
this
in
is
all that.
something Nigerian fans do a lot. I'm sorry to say Nigerian fans, but fans in general do a lot. When we didn't qualify for the World Cup, do you know what happened to Ekong? You know, Ekong used to do his YouTube thing before. He used to do his YouTube. You know, he stopped doing YouTube. He stopped doing because they killed him. Like they murdered him after that game. Right? We can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. If we want to criticize, let's be constructive. Right? We can't just keep killing players, killing their mental. No, like
Yeah.
we have to add perspective into doing whatever I want to do. Right? And Iwobi is not the same guy anymore. Iwobi used to be that guy showing Snapchat, showing. He doesn't do that as much anymore. If you notice, senior
That is
man,
good.
Iwobi
You should
used to.
focus on learning how to play football. I'm sorry. All this long talk is what is annoying me is fans. I feel like fans have the right to go at players. Maybe not to the extent of saying someone will like perish or somebody is cancer, but my eyes do not deceive me. After watching that final, if when I was in secondary school, if you played bad, we used to go for Milo competition. As soon as you come back, our sports master used to hold the key in the front of the coaster, but you've seen that. As soon as we land in school, 12 on your nyash, she will flog you, and you those that played bad already know what to
I
expect.
know that's okay. That's okay. But I'm
He
just saying,
deserves to
like,
be
we
flogged.
cross a line. I'm just saying we cross a line. That's what I'm saying. Like, we
But
cross a
but
line.
but I feel like that's professional sports. Adams, you're in America here. LeBron has won 4 championships, and anytime he doesn't win, you see how it is because we expect a lot. Like someone like Iwobi, you've played for Arsenal, you've been in the Champions League, you've been a top Premier League player, and your mentality is crap. The minute things are not going well for Nigeria, which is what bothers me about watching the Afcon, is who are the people that were like, it's just like, okay, like a Liverpool fan, and looking at Salah is going to or trying to bail us out, or Chelsea bad, you're looking at Hazard, Fabregas, living at the sports, you're looking at Kane's son. How can I be looking at my goalkeeper? That is the only person I'm like, this guy's going to be on to bail us. I can't look at Osimhen. I can't look at Iwobi. These are the guys that are coming from, a little bit bigger pedigree. Like look at Aina. I'm very happy you did not watch that game. Aina was atrocious. You would think that they had replaced him with his twin if he has a twin. The guy didn't look like someone that has even played the tournament
But
yet. He looked like a fresh
can we just
leg.
chalk that up to like a game, a bad game? I know it's in the
But
final. I know it's
that's
a
the
final,
final.
right? I know it's a final, but he has given us. I think he probably made the team of the tournament,
Yeah, he
right?
made the team on it.
Yeah,
He
like
made CAF's
I
team
feel
on the
like
tournament. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, right? And this is a team that we all wrote off,
Yeah.
bro. Everybody said Nigeria is not getting past the group. So why are we now saying, oh,
Because
of course,
because
like,
because because you've gotten to that point.
and that's how
You can't
far
just,
we
you
will
can't,
go.
you can't just write it off. You've
Look,
gotten to
look,
that
see,
point for a
the
reason.
thing about winning trophies is the thing about winning every team that wins a trophy, no matter what anybody says, deserves to win the trophy because they are the best team. They are supposed to win the trophy, and we're not the best team because being
But
the
it
best.
goes back to what you said about how to lose though. Like there's a way to lose with dignity and to lose with effort. And I honestly like I don't understand how they can come out of that game and feel like they gave it their best
Exactly.
shot. They
Maybe
didn't.
maybe that
That's just the
game.
simple truth. They didn't.
That's I'm saying that I'm not writing off a whole tournament based off of one game. That's what I'm saying. Maybe that game they were bad. They were very bad in that game.
Bad.
Let's criticize them for that game, but let's not act like we lost our memory and then we can't remember every other thing that they did throughout the tournament. That's what I'm saying. Like we can't just let that one game overshadow the good that we got from this tournament. We saw a team
Yeah.
that had spirit besides the game, besides that one game. Okay, we saw a team that could fight for the badge. We saw a
Yeah.
team that wanted to put their bodies on the line. Before Nigerian players were ducking tournaments because of injuries, right? They didn't want to really. But these players were putting their bodies on the line. Let's applaud that and also say, okay, what can we do better? Maybe Iwobi is no longer national team
You
material.
should go. If
Let's
I
look
see him
for
again, I'll know what stuff.
somebody else. But let's not act like it's just that one game and that was it.
It won't be should go. Guys like Ekong deserve or every praise Ekong get. Me, I'll raise up my hand and say yes, Ekong, you should praise because people can see it. That's why when Iwobi and
But
those are talking media, it's funny to me because I'm like, did anybody flog Ekong? That final, the guy played his heart out. Even the goalkeeper, he was a little bit at fault for that first goal, but you can't even flog him because the saves, like there was one save he made and he's shouting directly at Aina. So, boy, guy, wake up. We did final. It's not as if we're playing
Yeah.
the group stage. Boy, wake up, oh. Stuff like that is pissing me off because how can fans that are there in the stadium are all at 100? Fans that are watching are all at 100. And your own job is just to be at 100 on the pitch. Whether it be winning loose balls, going in for duels, making your passes. If it's that Ivory Coast just where they were better at dominated, there's no wahala. But those are the things that I cannot excuse. Like you cannot forgive it. Then you now see Iwobi painting the ball, like passing with energy, and then he's not
See, the
chasing.
thing is, what I'm saying about it is we're not good enough to win the final, and we saw it in the final.
But
And
we didn't try. We didn't try. That's
But we can
to me.
build
That's
up.
not acceptable.
But I
Whether or
get
not
it. I
you're whether or
get
not you're good enough or not, I think if you at least play up to your own potential and you lose, fine. Like you said, nobody was going at Ekong. Nobody was going at Wambali. Nobody was going at guys like Semi Ajayi or
Semi Ajayi-
Basi. These guys played decent. They were
But I'm
okay.
saying-
Even Frank Oyeka, who was in the midfield with Jiwobi, right? He didn't get pelters in the way that
But
Iwobi did. Why?
what I'm
Because
saying
at
is,
least at the
can the
bare
story
minimum,
of
effort
this
was there.
can the story of this team not be like, oh, we're disappointed in them? Like, can we?
My thing is, I'm not even big on the players. I think something needs to change with the approach.
I
First
agree.
of all,
I
I think that's the most important thing. But when players get criticized, I just don't like the response being, "I'm going to avoid this." That's
Like,
bad mentality, still, in my opinion.
But
Alright,
but there's a difference between just bullying players and criticizing them though. That's what I'm saying. Like, and people are still different.
I agree that.
No matter how you want to paint it, people are still different. Like, I'm not you. You can say something to me and I can take it, and you are not him. So we can't compare and say LeBron James can say, oh,
Then don't play a publicly criticized sport. Go and be an accountant, and then hope that your boss never criticizes you. Because no, this is one thing that gets me mad. Right? Is what about
I'm
poor
talking about
Iwobi?
bullying. I'm talking about bullying, not criticism.
I know. Because these bullies are faceless, nameless trolls, right? You focus on 1,000 bots, right, that are insulting you. Cool, I get that. But your job entails that level of exposure to the media, to the outside world. You can choose to, one, not have a social media account. You can make it private between just you and your friends, right? Me as a human being here, if I don't want bots in my mentions when I make random claims on a podcast or something, I can shut off my social media, right? I can make that decision. There's no worldwide, nationwide campaign. Oh, stop bullying Uzo that said that Osimhen can't strike the ball. Nobody's saying that because we're all normal people and we know bullies are bullies. They exist in a different plane. They're not sensible, reasonable people. They're looking for an opportunity to pounce regardless. That shouldn't separate you from the fact that you have an obligation to the media. They're ducking the media. What are faceless trolls on social media who you cannot do anything about, right? You can't do it. The more you give them the response that they're after, the more enabled and empowered they are to continue to do what, because they're attention seeking, right? So when you now take what they've given you, the vitriol that they've given you, and you're like, oh, I'm going to not do my media duties, which is something that you are obligated to do. That doesn't follow to me. We are all responsible. You chose this career path. You chose this profession. This is what comes with it. If you don't like it, go and be a plumber, right? If you don't like it, go and be an accountant. If you don't like it, go and be a software developer. Nobody will ever be in your mentions. You'll be unknown. But you know why they don't do that? Because they love the accolades that come with it. Well, this is the drawback.
Even
like, what are we doing here?
Even being a plumber, if you fix toilet and it doesn't work, the guy that you fix it for will criticize you and insult you. Will that make you stop going to work?
Adams, my thing is, you cannot go and stop 10,000 random, nameless, faceless troll accounts from doing what they do. They do it at our clubs. They do it in every sport.
Does that make it right? Does that make it right?
So what are you going to do about it?
Does that make it? You doesn't make it immune. You're still going to feel what you feel. It's just like saying racism now. Just like saying racism and saying, oh, if they keep calling you a monkey, if they say whatever they say to you, you should not react. That's what you're saying.
I mean, that's different. They're saying players can walk off the pitch, right, in protest for racist comments. What are you going to do about nameless, faceless troll accounts that aren't even real people insulting you on social media? Okay, what can we do about that?
I'll do you one better. They're real people. They're people that have faces. They're like huge people with influence also, bullying them. How about that?
It won't be. See my face. You are not good. Don't come back to the national team. That's why you don't make it Arsenal. Because you don't know how to pass the ball. You don't know how to shoot the ball. All you know is to do dada on Snapchat. Okay. Don't come back to the national team. Let's find his replacement now. It says, me and my face, add my account.
Okay, all right, guys. Okay, guys. Let's. Okay, on the final note on this particular topic, right?
Dying,
of course, as Nigerians, we're disappointed in the way the final turned out, and especially like I think what Chooks and Uzo said, in that manner, there was not from if you're watching that final, just like there was no that fight was not there, you couldn't see that, that wanted to win the final, But it's something that is by the way now, and the annoying thing or the sad thing is the trolling is still ongoing right now. So before I came on the show, there's this Ghanaian influencer on Twitter. That guy has been something else, man. Anytime I'm just been avoiding his post. The guy has done. You know what he has done? I don't know if you've seen the guy. Today is exactly 1 week. He's not doing 1 week anniversary of the final. He's now replaying the final, showing the lineup. He said, "Oh, Nigeria is about to enter into the pitch."
But see now,
of when Osimhen was about.
But you can also.
I was ready. I was supporting my boys.
So it's just like Arsenal. The Arsenal bought you. Arsenal bought you. Did you stop supporting Arsenal?
I'm not going to stop supporting Nigeria.
No, but you said here that you and Chooks are like, this is my last time. I'm not going to get involved. Like this is not part of football. Why are you guys acting like
Adams? Do you know? Hold on, Adams. Do you know how many times I've blocked the Spurs official account? Do you know how many times I've blocked every single player? We do this, bro. This is part of our coping.
But you never said.
So you think I'm gonna get dragged?
No. You've never said this is the last time I'm supporting this team. You've never.
I said it. Oh, believe what? I said it a minute.
Oh my goodness!
You think after I woke up? Wait, hold on, Adams. You think after I woke up at 6 a.m. and in 20 minutes before I even warmed up my bacon, Newcastle were 5-0 up? You think I left that saying, you know what? I support the boys.
No, no, no.
Let me not even repeat
You
what I
feel
said.
bad.
If I if
You never said this is the last time
feel
I'm speaking to
bad,
this team.
but
You
that's
Guys,
an
never said
guys,
this.
understatement.
Yes. You
If I
never.
speak, I will be suspended 6 months. 6 months. They will have my account.
guys, let's start off with the big game of the weekend: Chelsea versus Manchester City. You know, the what's it called now? The current champions, the defending champions. You know, coming into that game, you know, with some sort of confidence, back to victories in the Champions League and earlier in the league as well. So there was that prediction. I'm sure if I'd asked any of you guys your predictions coming into that game, maybe Barry Adams, I'm sure the predictions were like, oh, 3-0 Man City or something like that, you know, would have said a Manchester City victory. But it turned out not to be the case. So I'm gonna get Adams, the Chelsea fans' perspective of things first of all. Adams, what was your takeaway from the game? Were you impressed with the performance, or was there something that you felt Spurs could have done that would have enabled its guys to go on and then take the victory? What was the assessment of the game?
I think it was a very good game. A lot of characters in that game stood out to me. I'm looking at guys like Malo Gusto, 20-year-old, away at the Etihad against a much hyped up Doku. I think he held his own. Disasi, man, what a performance from Disasi! Like it's been long we've seen a center back performance like that. And that's our DNA. That's what we're known for. If you know guys like Gary Cahill, John Terry, Carvalho, we have big center halves with big presence. Big performances, putting in the work for the team. And we saw the passion. I saw the passion in him. And like you guys talked about, Nigeria. When you talk about Nigeria, you want to see your players try. You want to see that passion. And I saw that. I saw that yesterday when I watched them. The very good defensive performance. But the thing again with this team is, can they do it again? Can they do it consistently? And that's why I've learned to temper my expectations with this team. I never get too high. I never get too low. I never feel too low because just a couple weeks ago we lost 4-1 to Liverpool. All right, and a lot of people were losing their heads. It's just something I've come to expect from this team. I know there will be big performances. They will play very well sometimes, and other times, they won't play that well. And to Poch, I think he set the team up very well, but I felt like he panicked at some point, and he went ultra defensive too early. The thing with Man City is you always have to give them something to think about. This is what they do. Like they play this way every single game. Like most games, they expect to have the ball and they expect to apply pressure. So you have to always have something that's going to worry them, right? And once we took out Palmer, once we took out Jackson, it was just like, oh, it's almost over. And they didn't really change anything. I think apart from Bernardo Silva coming in, and they just kept doing what they do best. And the goal was inevitable. It was always going to come. So I felt like if maybe we kept Palmer or we had trusted some of the attacking players we had, maybe Modric or even Madueke to come in and at least offer something, offer a lot more threats going forward. I feel like the sub that he made was too early, taking out Palmer and bringing out Chaloba. It was too early I think it was around 70 minutes. But from minute 1 to the 70th minute, it was an incredible performance from the boys. The way we counter-attacked, the way we counter-pressed them. I felt like the midfield also did very well. Gallagher is a guy that never gets a lot of respect from the fan base, but I think many people are starting to see how useful he is to this system and to Poch. So yeah, again, I'm not too excited because I've seen us play this way. Next game we might get battered again. You never know. So yeah, but all in all, it was a great performance from boys.
Yeah, we can see you.
And can you hear me as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. So Chooks, I want to get your view on the Man City's side of things, right? I'm sorry. I don't know if you saw the game.
Yeah,
Erling,
what
you know, missed some key chances for Manchester City, and I don't know. My own point of view, right? I don't know. I may be wrong, but I just feel like Manchester City have less of like if Haaland is not performing right, there seems to be some sort of like they're going to lack goals or they don't have. I'm looking at like previous seasons where they had like what's this midfielder that's gone to but Ilkay Gundogan, he
going
always
on?
watch this thing in him where he will always come up with the goals. What's his name? Alvarez doesn't seem consistent for me. What do you think about Manchester City's attacking
I mean, I
prowess?
was I was told Foden is, is carrying the team this season, but that's topic for another day. I deep down, I want to give perspective, but I need Chelsea to win again. So I don't want to piss off all the Chelsea fans that will be watching. Roland and Co, I don't want to piss them off. But what Adam said is true. City is always going to play the same way. Any quote unquote big team, they don't get flustered. Whether they are down 2-0, 2-0, they'll play the same way. On a different day, Haaland probably scores those goals and puts the fear of God in Chelsea. And we're not hearing any of this conversation. But that's also one thing about football is when you have a what I would say a generational team like that where you want them, I don't get why Poch will go defensive so early because once you stop keeping them honest, what that just meant they had more chance for the Brenner to keep spamming crosses, creating chance after chance, and then they scored and almost if they had given that penalty, the one that this guy kind of
I
handled
thought
the
that was a
ball,
pen. I thought that was a pen.
it's 2-1 and we're not having this conversation because they had what 31 shots to Chelsea's 9. Like it was pure City dominance, which is normal. That's the norm. But Chelsea had the chance to leave there with 3 points. And I feel like Poch kind of gave up a little bit too early. It was too early to take out Cole Palmer. He took out Sterling, Cole Palmer, and Jackson. No, it's way too early. But I was impressed with Chelsea though. Jackson scores that first goal, then the Sterling goal, 2-0 halftime. Come on. But it was if I'm a Chelsea fan, it's not like I'm too happy, but it's like I'm impressed because they are the first top six team this season to play City twice and live with like they didn't lose. And at the Etihad too, leaving the Etihad. Every time my team goes to the Etihad, minimum four. Like it's not even like I'm talking about we're going to draw. It's a minimum. We're going to hold 4 goals. So if I'm Chelsea fan, I'm impressed. You should carry the same spirit on Sunday. Come on, you Blues. We have a big game on Sunday. Probably bigger than that City game. I need you guys to be sharp. Disasi. Hold Nunes by his long hair. Malogusto. Shout out Malogusto. That Doku brother. I won't speak too much. Mal, Malogusto put him inside the cage. I was so impressed with Malogusto. I didn't know he had that kind of leg in him. Locked up Doku. We didn't see Phil Foden the whole game. They couldn't really do much with KDB. Even Rodri, without that Rodrigo wasn't having that good of a game.
Yeah,
But
Gallagher was
also
on.
from a Chelsea point of view, you put into something about Caicedo and the cards he picks up
Yeah, yeah.
is ridiculous. 'Cause I feel like once he picks it up, he can't be as aggressive. Especially like in the second half when you need him to be a little bit more aggressive. You all my Chelsea fans get in the
We're
room with
taking
Poch.
notes.
Take
We're
notes.
taking notes for Sunday.
Take
Don't worry. We
notes.
got
Take
you. We got
notes.
you.
On Sunday, you can't get that early yellow card. You can't get that early yellow card, and you have to play Kopama the whole game. You can't be subbing off the only creative player you have. You just sub him off. Because I honestly feel you could have left there with a 2-2 because
I
when
think
you had
so.
City, just all of them were all you need is one person that can break the line with a pass and someone that will chill. Like what Jackson was doing. You just sit tight, one pass to him, go. So from a City point of view, I don't think they should take that game to heart too much. Another day, Haaland scores 3 goals and we'll know here. It's just it's the league. It's gonna happen.
Bukayo Saka also had off days as well. So
Well, I mean, I think that game, the one thing that I took away from that game, right, watching as a neutral. No, we still can't hear you.
yeah,
But the one thing that I took away from that game as a neutral was Doku, man. Like, there's just a few. And the thing is, like, I think, of course, like everyone was quick to crown this guy, and he is a supreme talent. But you tend to forget how young and how new he is. But I've been a little like taking a pause on the way I assess that player since they played against us at the Etihad. Because he seems to me because again, a lot of people like did this thing with Saint Maximin, right? When he was at Newcastle, just taking the unnecessary touches, releasing the ball way too slowly. As much as he was deadly and threatening 1v1, he never really made that connection as with the intelligence part of the game where you know when to apply your talent and when to just allow the game to flow, right? And what a lot of people did was that game where Doku had the 4 assists and the goal, people were saying, oh, like he's like a more intelligent version of Alan St. Maximin, right? And I think we can all now take a pause on that, right? Because I'm honestly starting to see why managers do not like top level dribblers, right? In terms of like teams that win consistently, teams that challenge for the top trophies, right? You rarely see them have a guy that's just what we call a skiller or, like a dancer because I think it doesn't necessarily translate at the top level. Because I was watching him and he almost seemed predictable in his unpredictability. It was like you knew he was going to try something and he was going to dally on the ball and the opportunity was going to be lost. And I think these are the kinds of moments where they miss a guy like Mahrez. Because Mahrez was someone who kind of learned to temper the dancing with a little bit of intelligence. And I remember like going back to that Spurs game that they had last year, right? After I think it was the 4-3 when we were up at the half. This Chelsea game kind of reminded me of that because my thinking was Chelsea's up at the half. Oh yeah, City's gonna turn it on second half. It's gonna be an absolutely they're gonna blow these guys away. And what was present that game that wasn't present this game was the influence of a guy like Mahrez, who when the regular tiki taka is not working, when the passing, the movement, when that's not working, they're not able to create fashion opportunities that way. They give him the ball in isolation, and he's able to create some type of chaos, but intelligently. It felt like they were trying to do that with Doku in this game, and it was not working. And of course, we can say credit to Gusto, and he did do a phenomenal job. But I think Doku himself needs to learn to be more intelligent with the ball. That's to me, that's the nicest way to put it. He needs to learn to be more intelligent with the ball and when to pick his spots. Because I felt like he was running to blind alleys. He was dilly dallying on the ball a lot, and he kind of rendered that whole left hand side a bit ineffective, in my opinion. And of course, like the main headlines would be Haaland missing those easy chances. And I have my own Haaland agenda. Everyone knows this. I think as much as he scores goals and as prolific as he is, I don't think he's as threatening as most people think he is. I think he's just in a team that creates a plethora of chances. And of course, he's a freak of an athlete, so he's going to get a lot of goals. But I think that he's still missing just a bit of like all-rounded clinicality to his game, and specifically with heading the ball. Like I've never seen someone that tall and that aerially dominant be so poor at headers. Like he seems like he's unable to actually get some type of like control over his headers, and he just seems to like just lash at it. And I think there's an area of opportunity for him to improve there. But as far as the title race, I think all this does is ensure that this thing is going all the way till March, April, May. Boy, there's not going to be a confirmed winner until the last ball is kicked.
Yeah.
And as a neutral, what else can you hope for?
Yeah.
What else can you hope for? I mean, there's Man United fans not throwing themselves in the title race. Like, it's lovely. It's fantastic.
Title race, not even top four. That's insane.
Hey, listen, they're only what? They're 11 points off of Arsenal. 2 losses, they're in there.
They said that last season too. I remember. No, that's
They did say that last season. That's exactly why I'm bringing it back. Even their coach believes that they're still fighting for 2 trophies. So until he's mathematically ruled out, Ten Hag wants to go after every trophy that's available. So
we'll be here.
we'll see.
We'll be here.
We will. We will. I think Paris is still having issues.
Yeah.
But what was the next major fixture that we can delve into? I guess the next one would probably be, I don't know, Liverpool played Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford were very poor in that game. I guess we can go to the loss. So Spurs lost to Wolves. let me hear from you guys before I speak because I know nobody's really interested in my excuses. But um, I'll start with you, Adams, because you've had your own. Like sometimes you've admired Ange and the job that he's doing, but also like after you played us, you kind of had your own concerns about his naivety and his approach and his style of play. Have you learned anything from the Wolves result or from our results in general since 2024? Has it confirmed or given you any new suspicions? Where do you stand on the job that he's doing? Like, how would you rate him? Because I know you had him as one of your managers of the season in the
Yeah,
halfway review.
yeah.
So, where do you stand now on the job that he's doing, and what do you think is going wrong at Spurs?
I think he overachieved a lot earlier in the season, right? And that kind of like, put his name up in lights, but I don't think that changes anything from what he's done. Like this is a sports team that were in ruins and he basically took over. And one thing about teams is how they play. I consistently look at Spurs and they have a pattern of play and they consistently try to play the same way. So that just tells me that he knows what he's doing and his confidence in, trying to achieve those results. And you're not going to go overnight and from becoming a totally, you know, useless team that finished almost not mid table, but finished almost in mid table to like a top three contender overnight, right? Even Aston Villa,
Well, it
Can
was
you
mid
guys hear
table. I
me?
think we finished in ninth.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're back. You're back, Pius.
So going from that, even Aston Villa that was saying, "Oh, what a wonderful
Can you
job,"
guys hear me now?
yeah,
Sorry.
we
Yeah,
can
we hear
hear you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
over.
can't hear you guys now. It's crazy.
So, like I was saying, even Villa that are occupying the fourth spot last season, they still had some growing pains as well. So, I feel like right now, you guys should expect some of those type of results. And Wolves, bro, Wolves is actually a very decent team. They're a team that I've been paying attention to. I know they came to the bridge and they wiped us for 4-1, 4-2, but they're actually a really decent team. I didn't catch the Spurs game, but it felt to me like one of those games where you guys um, had control of the game, and they just had two really good opportunities. I saw the second goal; that was really good work from Neto. But yeah, I don't think. Yes, there's some concerns that you guys need to address, especially defensively. You guys give away too many chances, but I still feel like he's the man for the job. I still think that doesn't undermine all the work that he has done so far. I still feel like you guys are on phase to get a fourth place finish. I still think it's going to come down to the wire with Aston Villa. I don't think Aston Villa has what it takes to finish fourth. I feel like
I
and
think at this point, United are probably our closest competitors. They're only 3 points behind us
yeah,
now,
yeah.
having played the
But
same game. So
but you know how I feel about United. I just feel I don't know, man. They've done well. Like I have to credit them. Like past 5 games, they've done really well. But I don't think it's sustainable. We'll see. Very soon we'll go back to the old complaints and we'll start talking about the same thing. But Ange is doing well. Forget about the banter. Forget we tried to banter you guys and say, but I think Ange this is bound to happen, right? You have some spells in the season where things will not go quite as well. We've seen it from City, we've seen it from Liverpool as well, Arsenal. So I feel like you guys just need to identify a lot of the positions, and you could also say Udogi didn't play, and Pedro Porro as well didn't play. I think you guys, it was what's his name, the Brazilian and the other guy that started. So those are areas that you need to address. But I still think he's a top coach. I still think he's doing a great job, I suppose.
yeah. So coming to you, Chooks, I know the banter will be here for balance. But yeah, so Wolves have done the double over Spurs. I think for the first time in God knows how long. Um, what is your? I'm going to ask you a different side of the question, right? So fast rewind to a month ago, I believe. Spurs were 1 point behind Arsenal. Um, I think having played the same games, and the narrative was obviously very different because Arsenal were on the back of one win in five. And in the subsequent games since then, I think Spurs have dropped 5 points, two at United and three to Wolves. Um, what do you think? went wrong for Spurs in the current stretch of games, and why do you think that? Like, what do you think is the difference now between that kind of class of title chasing? Because you guys have known that I've kind of been cheekily putting us in title conversations. So, Chiefs, what do you think separates the actual title chasing pack from a team like Spurs? And do you think it has anything to do with the manager, or do you think it's players? Like, what's
I mean,
you can add your banter, but
for one,
that's the question.
I don't banter Big Ange. I like Big Ange, so I won't banter Big Ange.
Well,
Um,
that's
That's a new. That's
I know, I know who I'll banter, but it's not Ange. But to be honest, it's the same thing. I was telling you, you didn't want to believe me. The squad itself is not built for title race.
I,
Like it's
I
just
hate
not.
I hate change sports and title. That's my only concern. Like, why are you guys deluded? Like, I think you said it, and the funny thing is, who's just said it before? Like, beginning of the season, we're like, nah, we can't. This is top four. We can't be in title race. So I was trying to qualify for Champions League. I don't even want to hear that title. How did he qualify that time? Title
we're challengers,
challenges,
not
bro. I don't
contenders.
even want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear anything that title and
Hey
sports
man,
shouldn't be together.
they just don't have the squad. I didn't watch the Wolves game because I was busy, enjoying my time at Burnley. But what I would say is I saw a lot of Madison slander on my timeline. Same guy they were comparing to, Odegaard. I don't know how he fared against Wolves. But Adam just does make a good point. No Udogi, no Poro. I don't know if that was huge, but
Is that really an excuse? The Wolves were without Cunha. Wolves were Hwang was just
I mean
recently back
it's
from the
it's
Asian Cup.
it's
It's not
very
like they had a full strength team either.
it's
So
very different playing teams like that when there's pressure. Like teams like Wolves, West Ham too, like when they're on form and you're chasing something. Those are not the teams you want to meet on a day where you're not going to be your best. Because I saw the Neto goal.
did he cut out for you too, Adams?
Yeah,
Okay, he's back.
Can you guys hear me
you're
now?
back.
Oh yeah, I was saying I
Yeah,
saw
Yeah,
the
yeah, you're
Neto,
back. You're back.
like teams like that. You don't just want to meet them when you're not going to play well, but at the same time, you don't have that kind of squad where you should be looking at the title. Top four. I want you guys to finish top four. I hate Emery and United more than I hate Tottenham. I will back Spurs any day for top four. I think you guys are still good for top four. You just need to get your players back. And if I was to critique anything from Ange, maybe he needs to change the way he sets up a little and not concede too many shots because it's atrocious. I was looking at the numbers. You guys are making Vicario earn every wage he's getting. It's not like he's not in the relegation side. I'm just seeing how attractive the ball is. Maybe there should be some kind of tweak there. But then again, if a manager has been doing something and he has worked this
yeah.
far, he might
He's
also
never
be telling
changing it.
be telling Daniel Levy too, like, yo, if you get me a little bit, if you beef up this squad a little to where I can play the same way week after week and get results. So maybe he shouldn't change the way he plays because this reminds me of my own team in 2021. Our manager just played the same way after he had tried to go through at the back and so it wasn't attractive. It wasn't us. You just play the way you want to play, and you're going to lose games obviously because you have players like Real and I think Ben Davis and Emerson Royal.
Yeah, yeah, Royal.
That's big from Udogi and Poro is like, when you had Van der Ven out and you just every day you were seeing somebody new playing CB. It's very different. The manager can easily, go ultra defensive, but it might be telling ownership that, I'm going to play the way I want this team to play, whether guys are fit or not fit,
No.
and just keep doing that. So I don't think Spurs fans should be too critical. You have one game a week to the end of the season. You should be getting top four. Son is back. Richarlison has been playing well. Wolves just had your number, same way Fulham had a number this year. It's just one of those teams that you run into, and they know how to escape. Because I feel like the first loss was more annoying than this one. I
Yeah,
think the first loss they snuck out of there in the 90th minute.
yeah.
Well, to be fair, we didn't deserve to win the first one either. Like we were trying to sneak out of there, and they. I think the analogy I used on the podcast was they told us, "Hey, that thing that you're trying to lead with,
We
So
do not care.
I won't really dip it as much. Still lots of football left to play.
But I like Wolves though. I like Wolves. I like the way they play.
Wow,
So honestly, banter aside, I do like Wolves as well. I think that Gary O'Neill has been doing, and honestly, Gary O'Neill is a great manager. Context. He's a great mid-table kind
Yeah,
of like.
yeah.
He's a guy that a team like I can
Fulham.
see him going to Brighton next,
Yeah.
right? If De Zerbi takes that next step, I can see him easily slotting right in at Brighton or a Fulham, like you mentioned, taking over for Marcus. But what I think with Wolves that was very interesting is he changed his entire approach to the game, right? Like having watched the United game and the Chelsea game and how open they were, how attacking they were, how they went girth for girth with these teams. It was very interesting. I think maybe he caught Ange by surprise was they were set up in an extremely low block, right? Extremely like it uncharacteristic of the Wolves side because I think the last time they did that was when they played Arsenal because I think when they played Arsenal, Arsenal had something like 80% possession, and they sat in a low block. It didn't work against Arsenal because Arsenal actually were able to break the deadlock and it completely smothered them, and they couldn't get out of their own half. But against us, obviously, it worked flawlessly because one, I think we like the same characters that Arsenal have, which is guys who can attack a fullback 1v1, beat their man, create chances, create chaos, and fashion a chance out of nowhere. Also, Arsenal are better in terms of like set pieces, both defending them and attacking the set pieces. And so I think we kind of got exposed for our own shortcomings in terms of where we are as a team. And like I've been the guy running the whole Spurs are in a title race gimmick, right? And I've explained many times on the pod, like my whole approach is I don't want to get sucked into a top four race because I don't think we can win a top four race. Because the same, and forget what you want to say, I think Arteta has actually proved this. The same materials that you need for a title race is what you need for a top four race, is what you need for a relegation battle. Is the same material. Every game becomes must win, must not lose, must survive. And I just don't think we actually have the materials to do that. So I felt like if we can put ourselves in a title conversation and fall short and then settle for top four, good. But if we get into a top four race, I don't back us. I don't think that we have what it takes to actually come out on top in any kind of race for anything significant. So where I'm at now is we are fully in the top four race. We're completely out of the title picture. And I don't think we're going to get top four. I think we're going to finish fifth or sixth. I think right now it looks like United is probably going to get top four because they're the
uh,
most informed team. They're
after winning
getting their
two games,
players back.
You can't let
Bro,
that
they're gonna
happen. You
win.
can't let that happen.
They're going to win these games. We know this United side. They're going to win these games. The thing is, I'm going to be annoyed because they will get top four. They won't
I
deserve
have something
it,
to say about
but
it.
we'll have nobody to
They're going to come
blame
to
but
me,
for us.
and I have something to say about that.
he's like the guy that has plastic water gun. Is coming to yeah, I have something. Brother, let us make sure Pius is mute again
we,
next
we,
week.
we have to play. We have to play Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City all in the same month. United are going to get top four, 1,000%. Because I don't think Villa have what it takes. Also, they're in Europe, so they're going to be distracted. I think United are just they're in the perfect position for a team like them. They're just underestimated enough, ignored enough, and excited enough to go and get top four. And then also it's like as bad as they've been, they can't continue to be that bad. And look where they've got themselves in, as bad as they've been. So it's like I think if you're a betting man, right, it's such an obvious script. It's such an obvious script. We're gonna go on a bad run when we play all these difficult games. And I think United are going to be just sneaky enough to be right there on the doorstep, and they're going to take advantage of it. Where that puts me as a Spurs fan is I never expected top four to begin with when the season started, but from the levels that we hit in the midway through the season, I think it will absolutely be abject failure if we don't get top four. But I think that we can still build on some of the stuff that we've had this season, and we've been exposed a lot. My worry is the manager doesn't seem to think that these are weaknesses. That's my biggest problem is in his press conferences, when he's asked any questions by our journalists, he doesn't think that we can see too many chances. He doesn't think that we have anything. He doesn't think that we have anything to address in terms of our defensive setup. And I think we have one of the worst rest defenses in the league. So is I hope we continue to get exposed until he sees that there's a problem. I know that's bad, but results like this hopefully can just serve to turn his mentality around. And I'm not saying going more defensive, but I think we need to address our defensive setup out of the ball. Like when we don't have possession, we need to work on that. And it doesn't seem like he does work on it, and it doesn't seem like he cares to. And that's the biggest worry for me going forward to like next season and the seasons after. But that's really all I had on the Spurs game. Liverpool, right now, Pirates is having some issues, but they're continuing to get these results. Injuries aside, no Allison, no Jota, no Jones. Salah is back. No Trent, no problem. I don't know. Where are we at with these guys, man? They're like the guy that will never die. They're like that cockroach. You've been hitting it, spraying it with Raid. We've done everything. We're even about to use a mechanical saw to kill this roach. It won't die.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me start with Chooks because he's directly involved.
Yeah.
I know he's come around to your thing of like it's just a matter of time till they get exposed. Chooks, where are you at with Liverpool, bro?
Yeah, it's the same thing. They get lucky each time. Like look at the defending for the which goal was it again? The one where he literally just passed it right back. Come on, man. Like Brentford chose the one day to be bad against these G's. Yeah, you have to say first. But they didn't do anything that impressed me. Same thing I've been telling you.
Yeah.
When real sheriffs rode up into town, you saw what happened. So that's all I'll say. Eventually, these guys are gonna their performance is gonna reflect the results, but they keep sneaking away with wins. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's 14 games left, and they have some serious games in there. Like if they play the way they played against Brentford against a City, sorry, you're not living there with even a point. Like if you go there and you play that same way, consistent of those chances. Yeah. But
Forget
if teams
City,
go to
forget
Liverpool and
Spurs.
keep giving them
Even
those,
Spurs,
those uh,
if they play that way against Spurs, they're not living there with anything.
Brother, if you're relying on Spurs to do anything at
nah,
Anfield, those guys, the pain that is in their eyes from that first
they
fixture,
don't have those guys don't have killers anymore, man. Keller Havers or
I,
Sonny. I'll take my
I'm,
chance any day.
I'm telling you, Bradley is going to download a bag against us, bro. There's pain. You know how the Scousers are when they're hurt, bro. Like that game is not going to be played in this realm. It's going to be played in a supernatural realm.
I
And
beg.
honestly, if you think we're going to get any decisions at Anfield, boy, buckle up. Buckle up. It's going to be a ride. I'm not looking forward to that game for sure.
I mean, it's in April. Maybe by then they would have dropped some good amount of points. It won't be too much. But they are just getting away with a lot of stuff. So I can't
It's the
hate.
fact that they keep getting 3 points as well. Like I think if they were like sneaking draws or something, you can say like, okay, whatever. But this was a dominant win, all things considered. 4-1,
Yeah,
plus three
yeah,
to the goal difference, 3 points
yeah. I can't.
secured.
I
It's
can't
it's
hate.
Yeah,
insane.
you can't you can't you,
It's
you can't
insane.
hate on that. But at the same
Yeah, yeah.
time,
This week I can't
yeah,
hate.
you can't hate on it.
Next week, when the London Cowboys do it for me, I'll be here.
So Adams, coming over to you on that segue. What do you think of Liverpool going into this fixture now? I think you guys this is on the 25th, right? So in about 7 days roughly from
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Next week
You
Sunday.
guys are going to be playing. You guys are going to be playing for all of the marbles, for some VVS, for a chance to banter Spurs fans for the rest of eternity. That you won something with the one guy that was our best manager of the decade. Um, we haven't been able to win anything with any of your guys. That will pretty much seal our fate in this London sweepstakes. So how are you feeling? Where you at?
I mean,
Do you give yourselves a chance?
Obviously, man, I think we have a chance. There's a lot more in it for us than for Liverpool. I know it's his last season, but I think they're more focused on the Premier League. But and plus, we've met them. I think it was 3 or 4 times, and it's been one result all the way. Like they've always won. So I feel like this time we just have to make make this one count. Like we have to make this one count. And there's something about Chelsea is like whenever you write us off, whenever nobody thinks we have a chance, that's just when that's how we do. Like that's when we come out to all guns blazing. And this is the best time to play Liverpool from a Chelsea perspective after the type of performance we had against Man City. This is just the best time to play them. Plus, it's going to be very different from the game against Liverpool at Anfield. I know they probably expect it to be the same, but it's going to be a lot more difficult, a lot more different from that game. And honestly, people are talking about their injuries, but I don't think that will play too much into that game. It's still going to be, the same quality from Liverpool. Salah is
So
there.
I think they're going to be missing Allison.
Allison wasn't going.
I don't
Wasn't.
know if
I
Trent
don't
will
think
be
Allison
back.
was going to be in goal anyway. It was always Callagher in the cup game.
Yeah, but Klopp is not like Pep. He doesn't do that
No,
rubbish. He plays his best team in the final.
the last time we met them in the Carabao Cup final, Callagher was the goalie.
I think it was the FA Cup that Alisson played.
Yeah, FA Cup.
Okay,
Allison.
yeah, yeah.
So
FA Cup takes a little bit higher precedent. So I think it's going to be no Allison, no Jota, no Jones, no. I think
Trent.
Jobosla is going to be out as well because they say he's just 2 weeks as well. I don't know if Trent is on the way back. I don't know if Trent's on the way back, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's a final. Like
Yeah,
at the end of the day, like you said, you guys have always historically played Liverpool close, both in the league and in cups. So like obviously it's going to be a spectacle for whoever is watching. But um, do you think that what happens in that game can carry over to the league for Liverpool? Like for example, if they're to lose out on the cup on that day, do you think that that might affect their form in the league, or do you think it doesn't matter?
I think it matters because this is a cup that they expect to win, and so people will be watching closely, and the disappointment from that can carry on. Plus, Liverpool, like I've constantly maintained, like they've been winning, and we can't write that off. That's awesome, but it just comes to a point where you know that they can't. It's not sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable, and you just need a little crack. I thought it was going to happen after the Arsenal game, but that didn't happen. They just need a little crack, just a little crack, and the cup might be it. Like it might just be it, and yeah, you know, it's a strange one, but for Chelsea, there's a lot more riding on this. Like we need European football. I don't care if it's what's it called, Conference League. I don't care. Europa League looks like it's not attainable anymore. We need European football for the squad that we have, for the players that we have. They need to play. Like they need games and
So I think Carabao gets you what
conference,
Europa, right?
conference.
Conference.
Yeah,
So FA gets you Europa.
yeah. So conference league, bro. I'm taking the conference league. Crazy as that sounds, it's better than nothing, especially for this Chelsea side with a lot of young players that need game time. Like 6, 7 games more a season would do a lot of good to guys like Modric, Madueke, Gusto. They need to play, and what better competition to play and get matured than a competition that really doesn't mean anything. Like it's almost like just a little better than the preseason, so you can go there, play against teams that nobody knows or nobody cares about. And
It's actually done Aston Villa a lot of good because
yeah,
they kind of used it as their preseason because people don't remember like before the league even kicked off, Aston Villa were already kicking ass
yeah,
in the Conference League. I
yeah,
think qualifiers or something like that.
yeah.
They had scored like 12 goals. Guys
I
like
saw the hat
Watkins, they
trick.
were all flying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so when the season kicked off, it wasn't surprising that they kind of just kicked into gear immediately because they were
Exactly.
already up to speed. Chooks, where do you stand on the Carabao final? I know you're obviously going to be wearing your blue. You're going to be
Yeah,
flying your
yeah.
blue flag high.
I'm all blues, man. After the reggae, play me some more blues. That's how I'm feeling.
Is it?
That's how I'm feeling for Sunday. I just need everything that can go wrong for Liverpool to go wrong. Sorry to say. That's all.
It's a
So do you
pity.
think that that's going to carry over into their league form?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it will, because they already have this big X on their back, which is surprising that a lot of teams are not playing them that way. Like, it's your last chance to slap up club, and he can't do anything about it. Like, if you go and you snatch this Carabao from them, the guy can't come back next season and run it back. I just expect him to play them that way, and yeah, they should, because now they have Jota out. So who's gonna start? Salah, Nunes. Nunes self is he got subbed up after the half
That was a good
rumored
goal, by the way. That
injury.
was a very good goal.
Oh yeah, yeah, the goal. I didn't think he had that package in him, but
But
I've
I
seen.
saw a tweet from Owen. Did you guys see that tweet from Michael Owen?
What did he say?
Yeah, about the chip. Like
Yeah.
he was saying that he would like to see Nunes do that in a game that wasn't nil-nil. That he thought that it was like a bit risky for him to try that kind of finish. That was the strangest criticism that I've ever heard in my life. Extremely strange. Like, oh, don't go for a difficult finish because the game is nil-nil. For a striker that's struggling for confidence as well,
But
I think
he's
you
just that
want to see that kind of finish from him.
he's just that kind of striker. That he won't make it look nice. So he's always going to score goals like that.
I
But
thought it was a difficult finish, and
oh no,
I
it
thought
was, it
that,
was. But just look at
and
the
this
kind
is
of
something that people have been, a lot of Liverpool fans, right, have been critical of Nunes and his variety of finishes. They feel like he tries the exact same finish to no end. So, besides Owen, like a lot of the reception was, wow, he tried something different, and it worked.
But
They were happy to see
if you look
that.
at it this way, though, I think that's why he misses chances because he takes like the unconventional route most times. Like he should
I
have
mean,
tried.
he's not just cynical. I think
Yeah,
everyone can agree.
but the
Like,
thing is, he tries the same side foot finish repeatedly. And the reason why it seems unconventional is because it's not always the best finish. Sometimes you can go trivela, chip, round the keeper, different things, right? Just some type of what makes you a good goal scorer is instinctively picking the style of finish. The next part will be being able to execute it.
Yeah.
So I think that he has the execution part. That's good. Like he can side foot, he can strike the ball. Obviously, he has the chip in his game. He can head the ball. What he doesn't have is the instinct to pick which one is relevant to
Well, I
whichever
think that was
situation
what
that he's
Owen
in.
was saying. Like he picked the wrong finish, but today it worked. It worked today, but
But I mean, that was the right finish. It was just more difficult to execute because the keeper is rushing. If he goes anything else besides a chip, it's a lower percent chance that he's going to be successful. The only other thing was like maybe if he rounds the keeper
yeah,
and he
that,
slots
that,
it
that
in.
was the go-to to round the keeper. That's what he should have done like that. But I mean, he scored a very
But we saw Ganacho today choose to round the keeper, and you allow the defenders chance to recover.
yeah, yeah.
Even just before that, I think was it Bruno Fernandez rounded the keeper, and you give the defenders time to recover. So that finish took any kind of doubt
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
All it relies on is execution on the
Execution,
part
yeah,
of the forward.
yeah.
That's it. So I think he backed himself, and it was a good finish. I think some of the fixtures that are coming up this weekend looks like Chelsea and Spurs game postponed.
Yeah.
So because you guys are going to be in the final, but surprisingly, I think Liverpool
Liverpool
Luton is still
playing.
going to go
Yeah,
ahead.
they're playing.
Yeah, so Liverpool are playing um, Arsenal, Newcastle. That's going to be a blockbuster. City have two games, so they're going to be catching up on their game in hand. So at the end of this week, next weekend's pod, all the teams in the title race are going to be on the exact same amount of games played. So, Chooks, how are you feeling about Newcastle? I think that's going to be the game of the weekend. Arsenal, Newcastle.
can't
Time
wait.
for some revenge.
Can't wait.
Newcastle are actually rounded off into a bit of form recently after
Bring
their
them.
nasty, disgusting run. So
They should
Newcastle were on a terrible run.
Bro,
come with that form.
they are getting battered by Arsenal, bro. Arsenal,
You think so?
Arsenal probably putting like three past them, 3 or 4 minimum.
Is at the Emirates, and the wound from that St James's Park game is still fresh, so
Yeah.
they should come. Can't wait. No Isaac,
They don't have
no
Isaac, they
Callum
don't have
Wilson.
Wilson.
Bring,
Yeah,
bring, bring,
bro,
bring,
there's-
bring, bring them. They are
Yo,
such a nasty.
No,
They are such a nasty institution. Very
the,
very nasty
the prospects of seeing Trippier and Burn against the
against an
combo of
informed
Saka and
Martinelli.
Martinelli, as informed and as scary as they are right now, is going to be.
yeah.
And I know.
I'm not an Arsenal fan, but anytime Newcastle is getting battered, sign me up for it, man.
I
I'm
mean, and
always
you
here
guys,
for
you
that.
guys, you guys saw Havertz, right?
So Havertz, how? What did he do?
I'm just saying,
Yeah, bro.
nutmeg and the nutmeg and the finish.
He said a nutmeg.
And the,
I've
was a
been
good
told
one.
that when you score, I've been told when you score the fifth goal in a 5-0 trailer, it doesn't matter.
I was
So
about to
guy
say
at that
all you
point,
can eat, and he wasn't going to score, but he eventually scored.
nutmeg and a goal. Say it with me, Shamina Mina, Waka Waka, 65 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again. We're there in Newcastle. Newcastle, please, 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 come on. Just do what Burnley did. No low blocks. Just come and play ball. That's all we've been begging for.
Bro, Burnley are so useless. Like
can we spend a few minutes on Burnley,
before
please? Yes.
before before the ball was kicked, I knew
Nah,
it was nothing less
Burnley,
than five. I
Burnley,
just
Burnley, Burnley is that stimulus package they gave us in 2020. It was needed. It's the kind of game that when you've not seen sunshine in weeks and Burnley rose into town, them and Sheffield. See what Brighton did to
I
Sheffield.
think
Before the Burnley game kicked off, right? They were doing the little promo package with um, JJ Watt, the new
yeah,
minority
yeah,
owner
yeah,
in Burnley, and he's doing this, and he's doing a great job. He's trying to make them more marketable. He's getting their name out there. He was even been on the broadcast a couple times
yeah.
trying to hype them up. And it's so interesting with Burnley because every single time they turn our attention to this team, they are getting pummeled. Like as soon as there's a spotlight on this team, mind you, they're getting pummeled regardless, but they don't even have that same, like the way Luton have that fight where, oh, the world is watching right now. Let's not disgrace ourselves. Burnley, when the spotlight is on them, when the world is paying attention, that is when they get the most naked. And I honestly, I don't think that we've seen a more shameless team in this league in a long time. Even some of those historically bad teams, they come, they do their low block, they're unsuccessful. Sometimes it's 1-0, sometimes it's 2-1, sometimes it's 3-0, sometimes it's 4-0, whatever. With Burnley, it is never not embarrassing. And I think I get what they're trying to do with company and trying to have some type of consistency. And they know they're going back down. They want him to go back and continue the rebuild. But I think when it comes to shame, you can't let this slide. It's the same thing why I said, like, as much as objectively speaking, David Moyes has done a great job at West Ham, what happened at Arsenal last weekend, you can't let such things slide because it sticks in the mind of the core fans. Like Burnley are going to go back down. I don't think they'll come back up. I think their mindset is if we stick with this system, we stick with this guy, he's walked the championship before, we'll come right back up. This shame doesn't quickly leave. When you're this bad of a team, when you're this non-competitive at the biggest stage, it sticks in the psyche of the players, it sticks in the psyche of the fans, it sticks in the psyche of your opponents when they're approaching you. I wasn't surprised that West Ham lost again. Why would that be surprising? What happened at the weekend was an emasculation. The fans left before halftime. They were singing in your own building. Your players gave up on the pitch. That kind of thing is absolutely horrific to go into your next fixture. And it's amazing what Arsenal is doing to all these teams. They're
Yeah,
coming. You know that meme of the of
Yeah.
the Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper,
the
yeah.
Grim Reaper coming to each door. Right now, what Arsenal and Arteta are doing, going to these away grounds, they are going in there like the Grim Reaper
You
and they're
know,
leaving with your souls.
we have Sheffield next away.
No way.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
Sheffield is
No
our
way.
next away
If
game.
you're a betting man, go and take minus
Five.
3.5, minus
Less than
4.5.
5-0.
They're going to butter that team. And I think there's a new chant now where
Stadium.
stadiums are emptying everywhere we go.
Good.
So
Yeah,
listen,
these are fun times. I just need Newcastle to hold it.
Good times, man. Good times. Better end it with a trophy. That's all I'm saying.
end your Sunday with a trophy. Let's take it a week at a time. Don't worry
Bro,
about
if I get a trophy,
you
eh?
know, some of us have community shield or if we're able to catch
Okay,
up.
okay. If I get a trophy on Sunday, that's what I'm saying.
Please give me Porto away. Can't wait. I don't even know how those guys are
So
friendly.
so you guys play Tuesday, right? In the Champions
Wednesday,
League.
play Wednesday,
Wednesday.
sadly, then we play Saturday. I don't know why. But,
So
but
Porto and then Newcastle. What does Eddie Howe have for me?
Bro, Eddie Howe has nothing for you,
A
bro. Nothing.
a tired Arsenal team
Bro,
after going to Portugal on a Wednesday night.
nothing, man.
Eddie, can you get your can you that favor that I asked you before? Can you just a little bit? I
oh,
mean,
they're
listen.
not even too hot in their own league. Porto, they're third.
No, Porto is not the worry. I just want them to make you guys run small. Porto, please, for the love of God. I don't want to see 3-0 at halftime and everybody resting.
You know, that's what
For
happened
the love of God, please.
against.
That PSV game where it was 6-0 at like halftime, please, for the love of God.
But to
I
be
just
honest,
want to see a competitive game.
I feel like they will sit in if they come out and because the what Arsenal is so good at is when you give us space to operate.
Porto play. They play. They're not going to sit in. They play.
If
I've
if
been
you,
following them in champs. They play.
if
They
you
will
give us
play.
space to operate and you don't score, yeah,
What is very scary about Arsenal now is it seems like Mikel has sort of mastered the dark arts where if my style of play is not going to get me a result, I can leave with your style of play working in my favor. I can go hunt for set pieces
the
and I
set
can
piece
bang
is
them on
hard.
your head and
To
I
be
can
honest,
prevent you from getting your is I've never seen that kind of tactic deployed, like
to be
if I'm
honest,
being
to be honest,
honest.
I
Yeah.
want to get something off, and you people have to hear me out. You you can't tell me that Trossard Havertz combination has not been cooking the last three games where they kind of like switch positions every now and then. You see Trossard in the middle, Havertz in the midfield, and like 5 minutes.
I can't I can't give you that based on the quality of opposition, right? Because I
Oh, okay,
think
fair.
and no, I'm saying because I think interchangeable positions works when everybody's sitting in behind the ball. Like your CB can be playing cam and we've all seen this when the team sits in, people just roam because you're trying to create something. I don't know if that's a tactic that he's going to employ in more meaningful games, but we'll see.
We'll
We'll see.
see.
I think the scariest thing is just, hey, whoever this set piece coach is, brother,
Nico,
you need to go coach a team.
you're
You need
fair.
to go coach a team.
Forget about set
No, I'm
pieces.
being serious. Forget about set pieces. You need to go coach Burnley because if a team has that in their bag, they can stay up in this league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
no,
can absolutely stay
Bro,
up.
that used to be
what,
Burnley's
what's,
bag.
what's
That used to be
something is
Burnley's bag. Set pieces, like spam
my
crosses.
whole time watching Arsenal, I don't think we've ever been a set piece team.
Never. Forget about Arsenal. I've never seen a big six side that is this effective in set pieces.
We've scored. We've
Besides, maybe
scored.
Liverpool when Trent used to spam those balls
Bro, Chelsea. Come on, what are you
on
saying?
set pieces.
Chelsea.
On set pieces?
Yeah.
I think you
I know
guys.
you. I know Chelsea invented defender scoring. They're the kings of that. But the way Arsenal do it, like they're so intentional in looking for set
Yeah.
pieces
Yeah.
and in employing their tactic when they get the set pieces. Like they're intentionally seeking it out. Is I don't know if any coach has ever thought about it like just do the nasty stuff better than these nasty guys. That really it seems to take the soul out of these teams when they concede those kind of goals because they're not expecting like, oh wait, that's what we're supposed to be doing. If you can do that, then we're screwed. You know what I mean? Like they feel like they can't go toe to toe with you in terms of playing the ball. Then if you're not going to be better than us with defending and scoring set pieces, wow, what are we going to do? So I don't know. This is scary, scary times, man.
Numbers.
Watching Arsenal right now.
The numbers are
Guys,
we've
I think
won
we have to round up.
188 corners this season. Now we
You said
scored.
what?
15.
No, let him finish the stats.
Now say we have the most corners in the league, and we've scored 14 goals from corners alone this season.
Wow.
That
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 might be more than prime Sean Dyche,
that's
prime Big
actually
Sam. That's
oh,
actually insane.
rank one next to City. City they have a lot of corners too. But, I mean that's expected.
Yeah, I
Do
think
they sc-
it's
Well, how many goals do they have from corners?
I have to let me put that in starting.
Oh, I thought you said they were next. They were second. They were just second in corners one. Okay,
In
got it.
corners here.
yeah. All right, guys. I think we need to round up now. It's almost getting to 2 hour pod, 15 minutes shy. But I think it was a good one. Sorry, Pius, you couldn't talk about Liverpool. You get
We did a bad job talking about your team,
you
and I
get
hope it hurts you.
yep. You get all these tears out on Sunday. You get all your tears.
Pius was in jail trying to defend his team, and we were just here saying whatever we want. This must be what hell feels like.
I hope he's this quiet on
On
Sunday.
Sunday, that's what I'm saying. You get all these tears out on Sunday.
And Sunday after body hub shield and Malogusto perform
Booty
wonder
shield.
perform
No.
miracles.
No,
He's done
Sterling
miracles,
is getting
man.
a goal, and he's not celebrating. He's doing like this after he scores. Like,
Cole Palmer was pretty good against. Oh wait. You know what? Just one last thing. Can we all admit that Trossard penalty was a dive?
oh yeah, obviously. Yeah, I think Chicks even said
Bro,
that
I kept watching it and I was like, yeah,
they have their own Jota. They have their own Jota. He's just
wow.
To be honest,
Now, I mean, it wouldn't have affected the result, obviously,
yeah,
but
so-
that was very funny.
if it wasn't given, I won't be upset. But what I would say sometimes, if you're running at that kind of pace, and someone like acts like they are going to get in your way, it's only right that
He anticipated the contact.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
anticipated it and it was given. But as you said, whether we got that penalty or not,
yeah.
No, they were,
That's why I
they
I
were
wasn't
going
even
to.
pissed because I'm like, okay, let them just.
That's why it's not a big
Yeah.
deal, but it was just funny because I kept watching it back and I was like,
yeah, I don't know
The-
how VR.
the VAR guy was just like, you know what? It's not gonna save you, boys.
Yeah, let's make everyone
Whatever.
stay a little bit quicker. Let's get these guys out of here.
But going back to that, right? With that penalty as well as the penalty that could have been given against Liverpool, how are VAR so bad in Premier League, and we just saw VAR work in African Cup of Nations? I don't understand it.
I just feel like it's the agenda, man. The refs are just too in
It,
tune.
it feels very deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous.
They're just
I,
in
I
tune
don't
with
know
the
if it's
storyline.
like the teams, the characters, because like with like Afcon, to be honest,
So-
it's honestly
Things went against you, and you were just like, you know what? That's
Yeah,
fair.
that was-
That's
that was-
fair.
that was a
Even
good-
that penalty against South Africa,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, that was a
I was
good
like,
call. That was a good
It's
call.
fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's
like to be
fair.
honest, what I feel is the thing is the refs like a commission like Afcon, from top to bottom, there's no big personality there. Like there are no players where like it's like with like the World Cup. Like think about it. Can you send Messi home in the group stage? Like you can't. So in a way, like some of those Argentina games, I was looking at the clip. You know that the game against the Netherlands where I think it was DePaul when he shot the ball directly into the Dutch bench.
Yeah.
You know he didn't even get a card for that. Not even a
I
card.
mean, Messi did a whole lot as well in that Dutch.
Didn't get
That
it.
Dutch game was interesting.
And
Yeah.
then you now look at even in Prem like the way Liverpool and City used to get decisions going their way. Even us time now that like we're in that echelon of teams that are competing. If we were still in the slums, well, I told Trossard to I don't know you have to get stand up. Let's cause the ball sweet guys stand up who play ball. So I don't know, like maybe we should get
I guess in a sense you do create your own luck, but I would just like to see them employ the same because you
Let's
saw
get
they were not
some-
afraid to make decisions against Ivory Coast. They weren't afraid to make decisions against.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I thought Mane could have been sent off in that Senegal game, but they still made up for it by giving the Stonewall penalty against Senegal, even though they were tournament favorites. I like seeing things like that. Like, yeah,
let's
and there was even a penalty Senegal could have gotten. You know, they didn't give that. Like, it balances out, but.
some foreign refs
I
that
don't know.
won't be scared of managers, maybe, who knows? But
Guys,
so
we have to
VAR
wrap it
is-
up, man. We have to wrap it up. We're almost at 2
Yeah.
hours, bro.
Yeah, but anyways, we'll never see that in our lifetime. There's too much money at stake, so it is what it is. We'll be back here next week.
All right, guys. See you guys.
After Chelsea win.
I'll be back
Pius,
here,
remain
bro.
muted though. We're killing one London.
You will never walk alone. I'm Team Liverpool. Pius, I got you.
One
Okay.
I
London,
got
one
you.
London.
You'll never
All right,
walk
that's our cue.
alone.
Bye, guys.